Hi guys, my name's Jay, and today I'm going to be showcasing my computer build, a DDR5 computer build that I built for a family member, and let's just get to it. So I believe it's the i7 14700K. So I'm just showcasing all the parts. There's the CPU and the motherboard. So if you're new to building computers, I'd always say plan. Usually it's going to be a DDR4 or DDR5 platform. This is a DDR5 platform. Intel, not sure the socket type, as I am predominantly somebody who builds AMD CPU computers. But I do believe that Intel has a slight edge for gaming and maybe overclocking, but AMD has caught up. I would say per core, I would say AMD gives a little bit more bang for your buck. So I'm just installing the DDR5 Corsair RGB RAM. I believe that's the first one that's going in. Now we have the second one. I'm just putting in the second one. Just making sure that the orientation is correct. Usually there's a little notch, and you just got to make sure the tab on both ends, or one end usually, is down, and then you've got to press firmly to secure the RAM in. So right now I'm going to be unscrewing the M.2 shroud. So this is one of the first computers that I'm actually building, which is going to be predominantly RGB based. And I did make a slight error on connecting a RGB fan to the wrong connector, and it blew. Luckily, I believe it was Coolmaster, or was it, sorry, Fractal, who's the case that I'm going to be using. They were kind enough to send another one out. So make sure, I believe I connected the full. So right now I'm putting in the 2TB Western Digital M.2. So basically you just got to kind of pop it in, it's orientated, and then you just got to screw the little tab to the left or the right, just to, put it, make sure it's done correctly, secured correctly. And now we're just putting the shroud back on top. I believe that's what it's called. I would class it as a shroud. Once again, take your time. There's no rush in building your first time computer. For those who've already built their computers or built a computer, I've kind of moved over to rack mounted computers now, and personally I believe that they're more easier to have redundancy. If you have one big computer, I've moved over now to having a firewall. I have a Synology NAS, all rackable, all rack. So right now I'm just putting the base. I put the base heatsink in. Now you can see the case. So there's a few modifications that I made. So I believe I took the three big fans, and I think I had to do that so I can install make some slight changes to the front panels so that the 360mm radiator could fit. So as you can see, I've reduced. There were 3, and now there's only 2. I believe these are like 3. What would these be? 240 mil maybe. They are quite big. 240 seems to be a bit too big, but they're definitely bigger than average. So this is where I'm making that modification. So placing the 2 brackets on the left and right so that the radiator sits nicely at the front. So I could have talked to you guys while I was doing it, but I wanted to concentrate, and it's not easy to concentrate and make a video. So what I did was I recorded the video, and then I'm recording again while watching the video back. I've cut it down to about 16 minutes, I believe. Look, if you're enjoying this content, you want to support the channel, please subscribe, comment. Got loads of things that are coming up now, so please stay tuned. The channel's always going to be about productivity, how to use technology in a minimalistic way without being dictated to on using software or hardware that isn't minimalistic, that isn't serving you in a manner that is congruent with your type of lifestyle. So that's the panels done, and now I'm putting the back fan. So it was this fan actually that I fortunately destroyed the RGBs on. The fan still works, but the RGBs don't. And Fractal did give us another one. They did send us another one out. So yeah, my fault. Bad judgment, bad error. I believe that there's a 5-volt and then RGB that's 4-pin, and maybe one that's below. I'm not totally sure. Again, comment down below. But yeah, I'm putting the back fan on. Of course, just make sure that the airflow is going out, not in. So generally, fans have direction. Usually they have a arrow. If not, I believe that the direction that the fan is going in, the blade is going in. Generally, that's the direction that the fan will spin. So that's the top of the blade. And then you can just test it. You spin it, it will go in that. You spin it, and then you put your hand in front or behind, and then you'll see the direction that the air is blowing. So this is me now putting the radiator in. And this is actually it was quite tricky to do single-handedly. And people who are building for the first time, I would actually advise you to get help. I'm using a ruler underneath to actually prop up the but you could use anything. I could have used a piece of cardboard. That was there, so I just used that, and it's quite sturdy. So you can use anything that can fit under that. So I'm just trying to find out where the hole is on the other side of the radiator. You don't really want to perforate or damage the fins. Be very careful, be very gentle with radiators. Once again, guys, if you're enjoying this content, comment, subscribe, and there'll be more content in regards to technology, how I'm using technology for business related. So I've had to get more out of your technology that you currently have. Uh, I'm a big proponent on open source software, on hardware that is, if not easy to repair, the option to repair. I have a Google Pixel 4a, and I just replaced the battery. I actually got a company to replace the battery rather than buying a new phone. Personally, phone is absolutely fine. I absolutely love the size of the Google Pixel 4a. It's 5.8 inches. To be honest, I'd rather have a phone that's between the 4 to 5 inches rather than 5.8. Majority of phones now are just so big. Um, that's the second fan that I'm doing. I don't know. Just comment below if this is a bit too slow. Maybe you want it a bit more faster, just to kind of get to the end kind of result. But I'm slowing it down to kind of teach and educate people how I build computers. You know, the cable management generally is done at the end. So you want to kind of put all the components in. And you kind of see what I'm doing. Cables over to the right because that's where the cable is going to go. And then there's going to be a 8-way, this fractal, I believe it's the Fractal Design, as a 8-way fan module where all these fans will connect, and then one will go to the CPU header, and as the CPU gets hot, all the fans will rev up, and another one will be for the pump, I believe. Usually that's up one or W pump, water pump. All these fans are PWM. That's 4 pins. I believe that one is a tachometer, one is an RPM. The old ones used to use voltage, if I'm correct, to regulate the speed of the fans. Whereas this is actually sending a signal. The motherboard's actually. So right now, what I'm doing now is I've put the motherboard in, and I am putting some thermal paste. I use. Let me try. Is it Chronaut thermal paste? I think it's a good thermal paste. By the way, guys, you don't have to do it this way. A lot of people say this is not ideal. As long as you don't get no thermal paste anywhere else, I don't think it's too bad. The thermal paste I'm using isn't that runny. For me personally, I would just try to get as much coverage as possible. Don't put it on too thick. I'm using a spudger. Look, I got some pink gloves because that's all I could find. I personally think it needed a little bit more than this, but let's see. Maybe I'm being a bit too. There is quite a lot on. You can't really see, but yeah, the whole idea is just to get a nice even distribution of the thermal paste all around the CPU, but predominantly it'll probably be the center, and that's it. And yeah, there you go, guys. I did put a bit more on. And then I just at the back of that I think there is a little bit of thermal paste already on there, but yeah, there's just a bit of extra thermal paste, and that's that. With this pump, I believe it's the Corsair H100 series. There is a little bit of a noise, but all pumps are going to have noise. So at the end, I did get some help. So this is me now doing the cable management. I don't think I added every single thing to what I did because I just didn't think I filmed everything. Should be really using a torch. And I think we're almost at the end. This is it working, guys. Pretty much the end of the build. Should have done a much better job at showcasing the computer, but yeah, I had limited time. But anyway, guys, thanks. Please subscribe, comment. Till next time. Thanks.